Hi, my name is Jonathan Hunick, and my quality of character PowerPoint presentation is on the character quality vision. The key with any vision is you have to have the idea of where do you want to go? Who do you want to be? What do you want your program to do? What do you want your goal of your sports team to be? If you have that in mind first, then it allows you to craft your program, your team, your practices around that vision. All right? This will dictate what your vision is. All right? You have to look at the end result in mind in order to have a great vision, in order to be able to follow through with that vision in critical moments. All right? You have to start with that destination in mind. Your vision then will guide all of your decisions and make all those decisions easier for you as long as you have that vision, that goal as the primary focus of what you're doing. Okay? According to Oxford Dictionary, vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Think about any great coach, any great team. They've done something, or the story around them is important because they've done something that hadn't been done before, or they've done something that, people thought could not be done. The only way that had happened is because that coach, that athletic director, that team had a vision and stuck to that vision, regardless of the doubters, regardless of the media. That vision was paramount in their mind and let them stick with it through the tough times and also stay focused through the times that they were in good shape. Okay? Coach Saban at Alabama talks all the time about embracing the process. It's something, if you look at anything he says or does, anytime he's in the media, SEC Media Day or anything like that, he always talks about the quote-unquote the process. And it's very cliche, I guess, to hear about it right now because it's gained a lot of traction. It's gained a lot of popularity for coaches all over the country. But I think the key in this is that people don't understand is in order to be able to embrace the process, to focus on the day-to-day, you have to start with vision. You have to be a person, a leader with a great vision first. Because if you don't do that and don't have that end game in mind and place you want to be in mind, then you can't really focus on the day-to-day. You can't plan that out. Now, if you do have a great vision, okay, it allows you to chart a course from that end destination from where you're at right now. So you can chart that course throughout the whole time where on a daily basis, these are the type of things you're trying to accomplish and you're building, you're scaffolding off each day and allows you to focus really on that individual day. So if one day's good, you may have another day that's bad. It allows you to process that day. What can you get better? But then also lets you focus on the immediate day, which I think not only allows you as a coach to be extremely positive, but it also allows your players, your coaches, your assistant coaches, to continue to be positive if they focus on the individual day. The past mistakes, you just learn from them, you move on, you process it, but then you can also focus on that day-to-day process that Coach Saban's such a big deal for. Okay, that everyday improvement. So as long as you have a great vision, as long as you have the end result in mind, then you can really focus on the daily process and everything kind of folds from itself and everything follows itself. Coach Saban says, know what you want to accomplish, like we just spoke about, and then focus on the process rather than the outcome. If you've charted that outcome, if you've planned it, if you've set it aside, you've taken the time to make sure you have a great vision for where you want to be, then it allows you to focus every day on individual improvement. And again, not only does that allow you to stay positive every day, but I think it allows your players to continue to improve and focus on that as opposed to focusing on wins and losses, as opposed to focus on a bad day or a good day. And that's truly where you create a great program, a great culture, a great team, is focused on that day-to-day process. The reason why Coach Saban's been so successful in the college football world is because his players and his coaches completely buy into this mentality. Okay, I have a quick clip from Herb Brooks from the movie Miracle. It's about the 1980 USA Olympic hockey team. All right, and their miracle on ice in Lake Placid in 1980, where they defeated the Russian Olympic team who had won 4 straight Olympics, so 16 years of dominance on the world hockey stage. And it talks about things you'll notice is his focus on the end result in mind, how he wants to pursue a lofty goal because it's important to him, but also that he has a plan with how to get there that's different, that's unique than what they've done before. And obviously, spoiler alert, for those of you guys that don't know the story, all right, is that they end up being the Russian Olympic team in one of the greatest upsets in sports history.
See you. How was the flight? Not bad. Yeah, that's great. Everybody's waiting to see us. Who all's here? Well, just about anybody who's got a say in this thing. Bob Fleming, the International Council, USA Hockey, Lou Nanny, I think you know from the NHL.
The only way we can compete with the Eastern Bloc teams is if we're willing to change.
Change what?
Change the way we train, the way we prepare, even change our schedule.
No, kind of schedule to change.
I think we need to make it longer, tougher, much more competitive.
Longer?
You gonna pay for that? We also need to change the way we play the game.
What exactly does that mean?
My plan is to adopt a new style, a hybrid of the Soviet school and the Canadian school. A combination that requires the highest level of conditioning, speed, creativity, most of all, team chemistry.
Is this what you've been using at the University of Minnesota?
Well, we've been phasing it in over the last couple of years, yeah, but this is
He has won 3 NCAA titles, folks.
Walter, we don't have years, we have months. Herb, you actually think you can take a bunch of kids that never played together, teach them a whole new style of play in the time we have?
Okay, well, here's the Northern Area.
What if these kids can't pick it up fast enough? Now, we all know we're a long shot for a medal, but we don't want to get embarrassed either.
That's right, that's right.
Bob, 4 years ago, our Olympic team lost to the Czech B team. I think it was 15-1. In all due respect, I don't think we can embarrass ourselves anymore.
It's assuming they don't go pro. I don't know about the rest of you, but I have a hard time giving up good money to finish 6th at Lake Placid.
It's a tough draw, Herb. Tough draw.
It's a tough draw even if we don't play the Soviets. What the hell happens if we do?
We put our best on the ice with them last year. Professional all-stars. They still beat us.
It wasn't because you weren't good enough. All-star teams fail because they rely solely on the individual's talent. The Soviets win because they take that talent and they use it inside a system that's designed for the betterment of the team. My goal is to beat them at their own game. Beat the best team in the world.
Gold medalists in 64, 68, 72, 76. Pretty lofty goal, Herb.
Well, that's why I want to pursue it.
Well, fellows, any more questions?
I'm good. No.
That's it for me.
All right, so you can see that Herb Brooks has a vision in mind of what he wants that team to be. Talks about completely change the system of hockey in which they play, extremely different from what had happened before. And he has his doubters. All right, he ends up getting the job and obviously winning a gold medal, but he had to really work through the fact that he had his doubters. And if you read his books or you read his memoirs on the Miracle on Ice, you can see that it was having that end vision in mind, that end goal in mind. Obviously winning a gold medal in the Olympics, but how to get there, how he wanted that system to look. Not necessarily the winning part of it, but how he wanted to build that system that allowed him to work on the day-to-day, even when it was tough. I mean, they get beat right before the Olympic tournament by Russia in the exhibition game. I think it was 14-1. And so, that increased the doubters even right before the tournament started after months of training. And he's still stuck with that. All right? Bible says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." And that's from Jeremiah 29, verse 11. All right? And so the goal, or the idea that the Bible brings about, that prophet Jeremiah brings about, is that the Lord has a plan for us as well. Okay, there's a vision in mind that believers have, that Christians have, is that you have a bright future. Whether it be at the end of your days when you go and enter into heaven, but even on a daily basis, there's a plan in mind for us, that there's a vision for each of us individually, and that we need to follow that vision, trust in that vision. Same thing we would hope that our players would trust in the vision that we have for us. That's the same vision that the Lord has for us, for our lives. So, vision not only as a leader carries over not just in a day-to-day life as a coach, all right, but it's in the lives of all of us, all right? Okay. Bruce Brown, who I read his book on teaching leadership and teaching character through leadership, being athletic leaders and teaching character in sport, all right, says that great coaches set goals, all right? They keep looking for methods that allow them to improve and continue to visualize the finished product. And I think that's the key piece of vision that gets lost with a lot of people, is that having that goal where you want to get to, but also a big part of vision is then being able to plan out how to get there. And again, this kind of dovetails nicely from the idea of the process that we talked about with Nick Saban a little bit earlier, that, if we have a end goal in mind, that vision for how we want things to be, it is much easier to focus on the day-to-day improvement of the individual players, knowing that you're headed to that goal. Allows you to be a great coach, allows you to, keep practices fresh, fun, allows you to be a great motivator, because even if your kids aren't there yet, if they're not those great players yet, it allows you to focus on those individual improvements. And if you continue to be positive with your kids through improvement, they can see improvement, then they buy in. They buy into that vision just as much as you're bought into that vision. Okay. How do we apply vision to his coaching role as leader? And it's something I've been talking about the whole time. But some individual points, program development, if you're trying to build a new program, all right, something I've dealt with the last 3 years, all right, my new coaching job, Berea Mid Park High School, is that, you have to have a vision for where you want to be. Again, you're going to have parents that are going to doubt what you're doing. You're going to have other coaches that might doubt you. You're going to have athletic administration, people in the community that might doubt what you have. But if you have that vision, it's allowed me at least to continue to move forward, all right? Continue to do what I need to do, whether it be effort, whether it be logistics or things like that, in order to continue to work towards that vision, okay? It's important to take your time, to understand that visions take time, okay? Anything that you want to build that's truly special is going to take time and effort and the buy-in of all your coaches and the people in the community. But having that vision allows that to happen. But you have to promote that vision. You have to make people understand where you want to head. All right? But again, it's a process. All right? By having a firm vision already set up in your mind, and then you put that on paper, you have that focus, it allows you to be positive even with the setbacks that you see every day. All right? And even to, hey, you have a bad practice, you have a bad day, you have a bad interaction with somebody, you could say, hey, okay, that's just one person. All right, in the grand scheme of things, my vision is to get to a certain place, and there's going to be those doubters, but belief in that vision that you have is huge. Okay? It allows you to focus on the process, the day-to-day, like we've said. All right, it allows you to stay positive and energetic as the program takes shape. All right, not get put down by the setbacks, not stay the course, not to be distracted from that end vision, that end goal. Okay. Again, take it to a huge effort, like we were talking about, in turning a program around. I mean, it takes time. It doesn't matter if that program is, a youth hockey league, kind of going off the Herb Brooks thing, or a high school, college football program where there's, hundreds of people involved, hundreds of parents involved, boosters, all that type of thing. I mean, it takes time, it takes effort. It's huge, but at the same time, you have to build that piece by piece. And if you have great vision, if you can see that end result, that end vision in mind, it allows you to set up where those pieces need to be. And hey, your first year might not be as great as you want it to be. You might not come around and instantly turn around that program, but you can see the end goal. You can play the long game as long as you you're safe employment-wise. You could play the long game to say, hey, this is where I'm at. We saw these steps that we took. You can sell the people involved in the program on the positive you saw and where it's headed, and then continue to move on the next year, move on the next year until you're actually at that place. And again, obviously you need to see some results. I get it. It's a results-based business, coaching, games, it doesn't matter which sport it is. All right. But if people see a consistent growth, if you really promote and sell your vision, I believe you'll be given the time to do so, and then that'll come to fruition. Okay, and all that hard work to get there will be worth it. But again, I'll focus on a vision. Seeing those brick by brick approach allows you to kind of stay focused on what's going on and positive. All right, create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because what you will become, what you believe, and I think that's the key part of vision. That's the end focus of what we're talking about today. Is that you need to have, like we talked about with her groups, a lofty goal, like they said at the end of that clip, a lofty goal. All right, and as long as you believe it and you bring all your energy and all your effort and all your talents into that, other people will believe, and that vision will become a reality. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Hope you got something out of the presentation on vision. Okay, I know I got a lot out of the class. It was really beneficial to me as a coach, especially as a head coach of a football program. So have a great day, and thank you very much.